This is just my family and all this kind of stuff. And the only thing I like to point out is that, well, this is me as a little baby. Aren't I cute? This is us in the 70s. This is our Easter photo. Many of you aren't old enough to remember, but there was this company called Olin Mills, and we would go every Easter to get our Olin Mills pictures, right? Okay, cool. And I don't know if you noticed, but my bow tie is as big as my head. Anybody notice that? Right? And then this is my family in our Cosby years. You know, if you look close, you can see Vanessa and Theo, right? And then this is me in my teen years, and here I'm holding a double-barrel sawed-off shotgun, which context is everything, right? So we were at a concert taking pictures, and the name of the band was Public Enemy. So that's why I'm holding a gun, because I'm a public enemy. Long story. And then this is my grandparents, and that's my dad and my two uncles. And I like sharing this just a little bit because there's a lot of stuff, there's a lot of background happening in a number of these photos. And this one in particular I think is very interesting because my parents married very young. They were 19 and had me by the time they were 19. So, no, actually they were 20 and I was born. So here's our family secret, right? So we don't talk about this. So my father's a pastor, right? So all growing up, sex before marriage was wrong. But this is our family secret. My parents were married in June. I was born in October. The math didn't quite work out, right? And so they were married real young and, you know, didn't have a lot of stuff. And they were what most folks would consider in poverty, right? So they were below the poverty line. So I went to this place called Head Start, which was supposed to give underprivileged kids a leg up and help them get started so they can be on par with all of their stuff. And as a part of that, the interesting thing about the bow tie and the vest kind of thing, kind of tunic with straps, was that my mom made those. And she made them because we were poor. We were in poverty. Right? We were below the poverty line. So there were certain things that I was supposed to do and not supposed to do, and ways I'm supposed to be and wasn't supposed to be because of how we were brought up in poverty. But I have to tell you, we may have not had a lot of money, but we were never poor. We were always clean. We always had good manners. My parents did the best they could to get us into the best educational institutions that their little money could afford. And so, although we can have the facts say that there's only so much money coming in. The facts say that we live in this kind of neighborhood. The facts say that our demographics will show up like this. The facts do not equal the truth. And so when we work with our students, it's important that we understand that the facts that they're facing are not determination or do not determine what their truths are. We say facts are how things are, right? That's what we typically say. But the facts have a lot to do with who's telling them. The discovery of America, 1492, Columbus sailed the ocean blue. Right? That's the story we tell, right? What story might the Native Americans tell? The facts, right? When I was growing up, we had 9 planets in the solar system. Now what? How many planets in the solar system? 8. Why? Pluto was demoted. Poor little Pluto. The facts. So the facts are one thing, but the truth is what we get to determine what that is. All right? So we didn't have a lot of money, but we were never poor. And then part of the reason that we were never poor was because our parents did their best to make sure that we understood that we had dignity and we were to be honored for being human. What is dignity? What is dignity?
Respect for yourself.
Respect for yourself. Okay. Dignity.
That sense of value that people are looking for.
That sense of value that people are looking for. Okay. Dignity. Is dignity something that I have or something that I can give? Do I import it or do I export it? It is in fact both, right? So it's both. And the interesting thing about dignity is that if you don't give people dignity, they'll try and take it. For example, I don't know if this happens to you, it happens to me quite often, where I'm at a stoplight or a stop sign, and there's a group of teens trying to cross the street, and with their beauty and their youth, you would think that they could cross faster than they do. You ever notice that? And every so often it happens where they're just kind of strolling, and then they make eyeball to eyeball contact with me. And as if to say, your kind, adults, don't see me any other time, but you will see me right now. They're just taking a little time. What they don't know is I have no points on my license and really good car insurance. Right? So dignity, if you don't give it to people, they will try to take it. And what does honor mean? What is honor? Who are we to honor in our society?
Our elders.
Our elders, right? So the people who have come before us, who've done things for us that we possibly couldn't do for ourselves, right? So we honor our elders. Who else are we supposed to honor in our society?
Teachers.
Teachers, right? Public servants, police officers, firefighters, servicemen and women who do things on our behalf. So we give them respect, but we give it to them on a high level. Honor. So my next question is, please raise your hand if you can answer yes to these two questions. One is, please raise your hand if you purchased a ticket or you passed a test that made you eligible to be born on this planet. Did you pass a test? Or did you purchase a ticket to get here? No. None of us did anything to bring ourselves here. We all accepted an invitation from our parents. I don't want to think about how that invitation came. It's disgusting. But we all accepted that invitation, and here we are, trying to figure out what it means to be. I never forget working with my high school students, and we did some service learning projects in a senior housing facility. And the thing that had never occurred to me or crossed my mind that was so profound was when one of the staff talked to our kids and taught our kids about how to be kind to elders and that kind of stuff, because many of them don't have grandparents that live close to them or don't visit with older adults. And she said, be kind to them because they've never been 90 before. That really struck me. Like, them being 90 is a new experience for them. So they're trying to figure out what that means. Just like I'm trying to figure out what it means to be 42. I've never been 42 before, so I'm trying to figure that out. Thank you, guys. So when we talk about being, we're all trying to figure out what it means to be who we are with the talents and the gifts that we have. And lastly, I looked for a definition for the word human and found something very interesting. That it has two definitions. One is a noun, being a biped, having opposable thumbs, a big brain, and a belly button. If you don't have a belly button, you should be concerned. And so it's a noun. But human is also an adjective. And what do adjectives do?
Describes.
They describe what?
Noun.
The noun, right? So adjectives describe the noun. So what are things that we teach our nieces and nephews, sons and daughters, grandchildren? What do we teach them about what it means to be human?
To err is human.
To err is human, and?
To forgive is divine.
To forgive is divine. What else do we teach them about what it means to be human?
How to respect others.
All right, how to respect others. That's what we teach them. What
How
else?
to walk,
How
how to
to,
talk.
how to walk and how to talk.
I think we also teach them some bad things about that we own the earth, or that we are here to rule it, or some things that can be misconstrued.
Okay,
Like
so
that.
we also teach them some bad things, right?
Right.
Anything else that we teach our young ones about what it means to be human?
Right from wrong.
We try to teach them right from wrong. We give them a moral compass, right? So they can make decisions based on that moral compass. And that moral compass is, for the most part, based on our culture and our environment and all those things, right? And so that's the most important. And so when I'm getting cut off by someone, maybe one of you, or maybe I'm cutting you off. One of the things that changed how I operated in the world was using this as my mantra, that I need to give dignity and honor to people just because they exist, not because they wear the right outfit or they look the right way or they have the right position, but because that's our inalienable right? The right to life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness, which is in the preamble. And the Declaration of Independence. And so what I'd like for you to do is, keeping this in mind, I'd like for you to do an exercise. So on your in your handout, under the pictures of my family, you will see a grid. And it should look like, no, it doesn't look like that. So we'll come back to that stuff later. Oh, there it is, yes, okay. So you should have a grid that looks like this, right under the pictures of my family. And across the top are categories of individuals, and then, or cultural categories that we've broken folks in. And I know that there could be more, but I only have so much physical space, right? And here we have groups that have tried to teach you about these groups, all right? So here is parents and family, friends are next, school and workplace, TV and movies, and personal experiences at the bottom. What I'd like for you to do is I want you to tell me what these folks over here tried to teach you about these folks over here. And I want you to do it in a particular kind of way. If you've learned something positive about one of these groups, I want you to put a plus. If you've learned something negative, I want you to put a minus. All right? If it was never anything you ever talked about, I want you to put a 0. All right? So a plus, a minus, or a 0. You can have pluses and minuses in the same box. All right? So I'll give you about 2 minutes to do that. All right? Right? If you can stop right where you are, what I'd like for you to do is to get into, well, actually, we're a small enough group that if we can just create a little circle right here, and we can just talk about our pluses and minuses, that'd be great.